Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I am Megan Maulden, your Saline County 4-H agent, and I'm bringing to you this week. This is week 9 of our Wondrous Wednesday challenges here in Saline County. And this week, I'm going to be talking specifically about careers in veterinary medicine. And careers in veterinary medicine are really diverse. There's a whole variety of these that require different levels of education and have different salaries, require individuals with different skill sets and different personalities. So we're just going to dive in and we're going to talk about some of these. First, let's just get started and say, what is veterinary medicine? And this definition comes from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and it defines veterinary medicine as the science and the art that deals with the maintenance of health in and the prevention, alleviation, and cure of disease and injury in animals. When we talk about careers that are in veterinary medicine, typically we define those careers in 3 different broad categories. The first one of those is private practice, and this is usually an individual business that is ran for profit. There's also public practice, which is normally government-owned or government-operated, and these are nonprofit organizations. And then there is industry practice, which is normally company owned, and it's also for profit like the private practices are. Now, talking about those private practices, the first one that normally comes to people's mind is small animal practices. These are normally your clinics that you're going to take your dog and your cat to, and they also specialize in, backyard poultry. Some small animal practices will treat exotic animals such as lizards and exotic birds and snakes and turtles, things like that. This is normally the first thing that people think of when they think of a veterinarian is your small animal private practices. In addition, there's also large animal private practices. As many of you guys know, we don't just have dogs and cats. A lot of times we have livestock, such as horses, cows, pigs, goats, sheep, llamas, things of that nature. And large animal practices are usually, they have a mobile component. So you can see here this mobile van that they can drive around to farms, because it's a little bit difficult to pack a cow up in your car and take it down to the vet's office to get him some shots. So these vets normally in a large animal practice have a mobile component where they can travel to the farm and treat the animal on site. Another type of large animal practice is usually zoo medicine. Zoo veterinarians typically have specialized training. They usually go for a little bit longer in school, or they do residency to learn more about these exotic species that they're going to be treating. When we're talking about the private practice, normally we think of these individuals, these careers here that are part of the veterinary practice team. These would be your veterinarian. Many private practice offices have a practice manager. There's veterinary technologists or veterinary technicians, veterinary assistants. There's usually a receptionist and then also a kennel attendant. Now let's just go a little bit further into each one of these that we talked about. The veterinarian is ultimately responsible for the patient care and the outcomes. The veterinarian may order tests, make diagnoses, they may design treatments, or they can even perform surgery in more serious cases. To be a veterinarian, it usually takes a 4-year bachelor's degree. It also usually takes a 4-year doctorate degree, and you can do 1 year of internship and 3 years of residency if you want to specialize in a particular type of practice. In addition, veterinarians also have to pass a national licensing exam, and they participate in a continued education every year to maintain their licensing. The salary for a veterinarian usually starts at $55K and ranges up to $150K a year. Practice managers in a private office are responsible for the business side of a veterinary practice. They're responsible for hiring and firing staff, and they also handle hospital conflicts, sort of like a human resources manager. Typically, these people have a 4-year bachelor's degree in business, and the salary is between $35,000 and $75,000 a year. A veterinary technician supports the veterinarian, and they perform medical procedures and assist with surgery. Typically, veterinary technicians have a 2-year associate degree, or if you want to become a veterinary technologist, you can get a 4-year bachelor's degree. They also have to pass a national licensing exam, and they have to participate in continued education every year, similar to a veterinarian. Their salary is between $20,000 and $55,000 a year. The veterinary assistant works underneath the direct supervision of the veterinarian or the vet tech, and they restrain animals for procedures. It does not require a college degree, but a certification is available in most states, and those will help you be more competitive when looking for a job in this field. They have to pass a national certification exam, and they also participate in that yearly continued education. And their salary is normally paid on an hourly basis, and it's usually between $8 and $15 per hour. A veterinary receptionist helps make appointments, collect payments, and files records. They must have excellent communication skills. These are usually the first people that you see when you walk into an office. They're there to greet you and check you in. They have no college degree, or it's not required to have a college degree. And typically the skills are learned on the job. The veterinary assistants may perform the duties of a receptionist, but some clinics have their own receptionist who exclusively deals with the clerical work. The salary for these is usually between $8 and $15 per hour. There's also the kennel attendant. Kennel attendants tend to the animals, keep kennel areas clean, and they stock hospital supplies. They have to know animal behavior and animal restraint techniques. It doesn't require a college degree, and most of the skills can be learned on the job. And a vet assistant may perform the duties of a kennel attendant, so not every private practice has one. The salary minimum wage is $10 per hour. Now, we talked about private practices. The next one, if you remember back to that group, those broad 3 groups of practices, there's also public practice. And public practice, remember, is normally government owned, and it's normally nonprofit. Some different areas of public practice are research and education, disease surveillance, drug development and regulation, or wildlife protection and rehab. Research and education. So you guys have probably noticed down here in the bottom left-hand area of the screen, this U of A Division of Agriculture Research and Extension logo. That's who I work for, is the U of A Division of Agriculture, and we are a part of this research and education group that I'm talking about right now. Some careers in research and education with veterinary medicine include being a university professor, where you can teach animal science or teach veterinary science students. You can be an extension veterinarian like Dr. Heidi Ward, who's been doing our Vet Science Fridays at 4 every week here in Saline County. Or you can just do research, basic or applied research. There's also disease surveillance. Typically, we're talking about your state veterinarians who import rules and do disease management. You have your public health veterinarians who are responsible for zoonotic disease management. You have diagnostic laboratory pathologists who do animal disease surveillance. And then you also have carcass inspectors. And these, that sounds like a weird job title, but these people are responsible for food safety. So we're glad that we have them. There's also drug development and regulation. These people usually do university research for pharmaceuticals. They can do government research for disease prevention or government drug regulation in regards to animal drugs, like drugs that go into like antibiotics for the cows that we're gonna make a burger out of or something. So it's important that these drugs are well regulated, not only for the animals but for us as a consumer if you're talking about feed animals. You also have wildlife protection and rehabilitation careers. The different types of careers in wildlife protection and rehab can include wildlife surveillance, wildlife treatment, or wildlife rehab. If you see this beaver, this picture of this beaver on the right-hand side, this guy belongs in the wild, but if he gets sick or injured, a wildlife rehabilitation specialist can work with him, get him all fixed up, and then release him where he can go back to the wild and be healthy. Last but not least, that other group of practices that we talked about in veterinary medicine was industry practices. And remember, industry practice is normally owned by a business, and it's normally for profit. Some different types of careers in the industry include food animal production, which is what it sounds like. It produces the food that we consume as humans. There's animal nutrition. Some companies such as Purina are one of the ones that people think of first when they think about animal nutrition. And it's important to have people in animal nutrition careers that understand veterinary science, because we want to make sure that the food that we're giving to animals is it's the correct quality. We want it to be well regulated, and all of that. And then last, industry professions can include animal health professions. And these are usually the people you think of are some of these like pharmaceutical companies that sell products either directly to a consumer or to a vet's office. So let's talk about our week 9 challenges that go along with this week's Wondrous Wednesday Vet Science lesson. So we have option number 1. You can either volunteer or donate. And many veterinarians actually volunteer their time or their services to help local nonprofit animal shelters, such as humane societies. A lot of times veterinarians will do spay and neuter clinics, or they will offer vaccinations to humane societies, either free or at a discounted rate, to help out these nonprofits. And you can help these nonprofits as well by either calling your local animal shelter and asking them if there's any volunteer opportunities that you can do right now, or asking if there's any items that they really desperately need that you can donate. If you talk to one of these animal shelters, take a photo of either you volunteering at that shelter or donating one of the items that they requested. The second option that you can do for this week's challenge is you can research a career in veterinary medicine. So pick one fascinating career. It can either be one of the ones we've already talked about today, or it can be a completely different career in veterinary medicine, and research that one career and really dive in and get the details of it. And then you can document the research that you find by either creating an informative poster or by giving a brief talk over that career that helps the rest of us understand everything that you learned. Submit your photo of your poster or a video of your talk to get credit for that challenge option. And the last one is a word search. We created a word search that has different words and phrases related to veterinary medicine and veterinary careers. And you just have to finish that word search and submit a photo with the completed word search, and you'll get challenge credit. So the way these challenges work, if this is somebody's first time tuning in, is you pick one of these 3 options, and you have until next Wednesday to complete one of those options. And if you do, you will have your name entered to a raffle to potentially win a $20 gift card. So let's talk about last week. Last week in week 8, these are the participants. Let me hide my face here really quick so you can see all of them. Here were all of the people that participated in last week's Healthy Snacks Challenge. It looks like the smoothie recipe was a hit. Almost everybody made the smoothie recipe, and some people created their own variation of it, and everybody said it was delicious. So it looks like everybody really enjoyed participating in last week's challenge. And then we had to have a winner for last week's challenge, and that winner was Emma. So congratulations to Emma Kay. She's part of the Perrin Lions Pride and also the Saline County Head, Heart, Hands, and Horses. Emma has been participating every week. She's been an absolute rock star in all of these challenges, and I'm really excited that she's won, and she can get her a $20 gift card for all of her hard work that she's been doing in these challenges every week. This is a reminder that I am Megan Maulden. I'm your Saline County 4-H agent. We also have here Chris Bolton, who is your Family and Consumer Sciences agent, and then Nicole Nichols, who is your Saline County Agriculture agent. We are all here for you to answer your questions, or we're still here on the job. So please email us or give us a call anytime, and we're happy to still help you out with anything that you need. And thank you for tuning in to this week's Wondrous Wednesday. Next week is our final week. It's our 10th and final week of Wondrous Wednesday. And next week, we're going to be talking about talks and demonstrations. And we'll even be showing off some of the talks and demonstrations that have been submitted for this year's county and district ORAMAs. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this week. I look forward to everybody's completed challenges that you're going to send in this week. And I hope I will see you next week too for our talks and challenges, or our talks and demos. Thank you guys.